Hey, everybody. Welcome, one and all, to a late show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Folks, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad Evie's here, too. Yesterday was another grim day for America when a gunman walked into a Boulder, Colorado supermarket and killed 10 people, including a police officer. This story is unspeakably tragic, and I cannot imagine for a moment the grief of these families and this community can be approached with words alone. The only suitable way to honor these victims is with action, but our government continues to do nothing. Now, due apparently to pandemic shutdowns, it has been a year since there has been a large-scale shooting in a public place. Now, we've had two in the last week, Boulder and Atlanta. Evidently, the only solution for America's gun violence is putting all of us under house arrest. The responses from gun apologists, of course, have been predictable. The Colorado State Shooting Association released this statement: there will be a time for the debate on gun laws. There will be a time for a conversation on how this could have been prevented, but today is not the time. Why not? That's what they say every time this happens. And that's what I say about what they say every time they say it, every time it happens. Even the idea of it being in a groundhog situation is itself a groundhog situation. Remember, Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Also, same-day gun purchases. Whose stupid idea was that? Thanks, Einstein. Another gun fetishist weighing in on the tragedy is Colorado Representative and HR Supervisor for John Wick, Lauren Boebert. Last night, Boebert tweeted, "While we are still awaiting important information and details in this case, random public shootings and senseless acts of violence are never okay." Where does she find the courage? Senseless acts of violence are never okay. Implying, of course, that intentional violence is fine. You know, the kind her buddies plan on Parler. Oh, speaking of Capitol Hill, there was a Senate hearing on gun violence already scheduled for today, and Republicans on the Hill know the majority voters want some form of gun control. So they immediately tried to change the subject. Case in point, Louisiana Senator John Kennedy, who offered this dollop of distraction.
I do think we ought to keep this in perspective. What has happened in the last few days, what's happened in the last years, is of course tragic. And I'm not trying to perfectly equate these two, but we have a lot of drunk drivers in America that kill a lot of people. We ought to try to combat that too.
Okay, I'll take that deal. Let's regulate guns the way we regulate alcohol and cars. You got to be 21, you got to pass a test to get a license, you got to have registration and insurance for your gun. If you move to a new state, you got to do the whole damn thing over again, and you can't go out loaded. Later, Senator Kennedy spun a different line of folksy BS.
I don't believe we have a gun control problem in America. I believe we have an idiot control problem.
Oh, we definitely have an idiot control problem. It's people who don't recognize that this country has long had a gun problem. John Kennedy. So when idiots like John Kennedy refuse to do anything about getting rid of idiots' guns, it's clearly time to get rid of idiots like John Kennedy. And that means voting them out. Of course, a lot of other idiots out there have tried to undermine your faith in voting, like the ex-president's ex-lawyer and Hunger Games soccer mom, Sidney Powell. After Biden won the election, Powell went around lying that Dominion Voting Systems, a company that makes election equipment, worked with Democrats to rig its machines to ensure a win for Joe. In response, Dominion filed a $1.3 billion defamation lawsuit against her. $1 billion. That's not good. As the former president's lawyer, her strong suit is not winning in court. But Powell is defending herself in the dumbest way possible, arguing that her lawsuit should be tossed because no reasonable person would believe her claims. In a way, she's right. No reasonable person could have believed her election rigging nonsense, which is why she spends so much time with no reasonable person. To get out of paying $1 billion, Powell's lawyers have also claimed that her conspiracy rants were just opinions and legal theories, and not statements that the public would immediately believe. Yes, I remember them not believing you. What were they chanting on January 6th?
Sidney Powell's theories are worth investigating, not that we take them seriously. On and on, ready to go. Hang like pests.
Speaking of people undermining democracy, Postmaster General and bad guy in a kid's movie threatening to turn the skate park into a car dealership, Louis DeJoy. Ever since being chosen to head the Postal Service, DeJoy has chosen to destroy the Postal Service. During the past election cycle, DeJoy, who was an ally of the former president, made changes to the Postal Service that made it a lot harder to do mail-in voting. It was so egregious that just before the election, a federal judge blocked his policy changes, calling them voter disenfranchisement because of how badly DeJoy had slowed mail delivery. You know you're doing a bad job when you manage to slow something we already call snail mail. Unfortunately, we're kind of stuck with this guy. President Biden can't just fire him because he's not technically a political appointee, and DeJoy has no plans to mail himself a pink slip, as he recently told Congress.
How much longer are you planning to stay?
A long time. Get used to me.
At this point, he's basically herpes that loses your packages. And our postal system could get worse. In fact, DeJoy has unveiled a 10-year plan that includes higher postal rates, slower services, and reduced post office hours. Though he has introduced one-day package delivery in that your package will be delivered one day. Switching to lighter news, the global pandemic. According to a new study, since the coronavirus lockdown began, Americans have gained an average of nearly 2 pounds a month. One company that isn't helping is Krispy Kreme, because they just announced that in order to encourage people to get their COVID shots, they will be giving free donuts to anyone with proof of vaccination. This offer perfectly sums up America's priorities. Life-saving medicine? I don't know. Wait, there's donuts? Out of the way, Grandpa! I have a pre-existing condition of not having a donut in my mouth. I could go for one. Oh, God, yes.
You can't have it without coffee.
What?
You have to have coffee.
I'll have yours then. Krispy Kreme says that for the rest of the year, vaccinated individuals can go back every single day and continue getting free donuts. There's the inequity inherent in our system. Our society is now broken up into two different groups. Unvaccinated people hiding in their homes for fear of infecting the elderly, and invincible gods bestriding the world with unlimited fried dough. While we're on breakfast, donuts for breakfast, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Now we're on some bad news, unfortunately, for sugar cereal lovers out there, because this week, a Twitter user revealed that he found shrimp tails in his Cinnamon Toast Crunch. How could any part of a shrimp get mixed up with Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Did I miss a season of The Deadliest Catch? First of all, shrimp tails do not belong in breakfast cereal. Second of all, shrimp tails do not belong on shrimp. They are hard. They are sharp. They do not taste good. I don't want them in my pasta dish any more than I want hooves on my burger. Cinnamon Toast Crunch denies putting shrimp tails into their product, explaining, after further investigation with our team that closely examined the image, it appears to be an accumulation of cinnamon sugar that sometimes can occur when ingredients aren't thoroughly blended. We assure you that there's no possibility of cross-contamination with shrimp. What are you talking about, CTC? Those are clearly shrimp tails. This is like the Lucky Charms leprechaun saying, after further investigation, we've determined me Lucky Charms do not contain moon, stars, and clovers. Lots of shrimp, though. Then this afternoon, Cinnamon Toast Crunch doubled down on their denial, tweeting, while we are still investigating this matter, we can say with confidence that this did not occur at our facility. We are waiting for the consumer to send us the package to investigate further. Yes, they need the consumer to send in the package so their experts can analyze it in their CSI lab, which of course stands for Cereal Shrimp Investigation. We got a great show for you tonight. I'll be talking to Dana Carvey.